Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I had someone point out that pro NFL player James Harrison, who is actually one hell of a strong dude. I don't think anyone's going to disagree on that. No one's going to disagree on that. But he pointed out, hey, this guy's strong, he's a pro athlete, he's fit, he's athletic, and he trains on a body part split. I thought you said body part splits only work pretty much ideally for bodybuilders who are using massive amounts of anabolics. And you know what? This doesn't detract from that. And the reason I say that is that he's not on a body part split. He's labeling it one, but go look at what he's actually doing in his workout videos. Go to his Instagram. It's easy enough to find. Just go over to James Harrison Instagram, and you're going to see that he doesn't follow really like you guys are thinking of as a bodybuilder split. It's more of a movement pattern split. And the reason I say that is because that's how most pro athletes train. Most pro athletes don't follow like what we're thinking of as a traditional full body novice or intermediate type program. Some do, and plenty of NFL players have. Bill Starr's program was a 3-body full day a week, and it was very successful for many years among NFL players. All right, he wrote it specifically for that demographic. But what you do see more of is upper-lower splits that are movement pattern oriented. That's actually what I have is a linear off-season program that I have for field athletes and strength athletes. I have an upper-lower 12-week linear periodization split, right? And that's what I have. It's a free program I have out there. And so you have that. You have guys like Joe DeFranco do like an upper-lower 4-day a week. Now, the reason I say this is not a body part split in the traditional sense, when we think of a body part split, we're talking about a bro split. That's where someone comes in and they do 5 different exercises for their chest and call it a chest day. On back day, they do 5 different back exercises and call it a back day, and so on and so forth. And they train each of these things once a week. Look at the lifts this guy is doing. Look at the lifts this guy is doing. Yeah, he is doing some seated shoulder presses, and that's the only thing I see in there that I would say that's really kind of dumb for an athlete. But he's also doing them with bands and kettlebells and stuff hanging off the bar, so it's more of a stabilizer and dynamic action exercise, and maybe doing it standing is awkward, and he's doing it for slightly different reasons. Most people would tell you a field athlete needs to be, or a contact sport athlete needs to be standing on their feet when they overhead press. But look at what he does. This guy squats. He does hang cleans, power cleans. Look at some of these exercises. So, you have to really wonder, what are we calling a body part split? Because even he has an arm day, right? Well, his arm day, the only video I see up of his actual arm day is his tricep work. It's almost like a behind the neck standing push press that's tricep oriented, meaning he's mixing a tricep exercise with leg drive, with other muscles involved. That's not a tricep exercise. Yeah, okay, it is a tricep exercise. That's a full body exercise. All right, he's standing on his feet and using hip drive and leg drive for triceps. That's a full body day. All right, he has just, leg day, he's squatting. Squats, if they're taking up the majority of your leg day, is a full body workout. All right, he's doing hang cleans. The guy's doing hang cleans with like 315. That's not shabby. That ain't shabby by anyone's definition. All right, I don't even care if you're an Olympic lifter. That's pretty damn strong. Where does that fit into a body part split? Like, what day are you doing hang cleans on? What day are you doing power cleans on? What day are you doing deadlifts on? That's not a body part split. I don't know. Is he doing them on leg day? Is he doing them on back day? Is he doing them on shoulder day? It's a hang clean. It works everything. And I mean, a hang clean, the second you start adding exercises like that in, you're not following a bro split. When your primary leg exercise becomes the squat, all right, you're now doing a movement pattern day. All right, that's a squat day. When you're doing standing presses or push presses, and you know how many pro athletes do push presses? A hell of a lot of them. Front push presses, behind the neck push presses. Where does that fit in a workout? Is that a tricep day? Is that on shoulder day? Is it on leg day? Because it works all of those things. That's a full body exercise. In fact, I'd go out on a limb and say, if people could just clean and push press, that exercise alone, if you master it, will build a tremendous amount of size, strength, and athleticism. I mean, that's something you should probably have a football player do early on. Where does stuff like that fit in a split? This is not a body part split in the traditional sense. And people have to understand the difference. You don't look at a pro athlete like this who has an enormous strength base, an enormous size base, very, very genetically gifted, very talented, who's following up more of a movement pattern split and call that a body part split. And you sure don't use it to justify your body part split, because people will see that and say, well, this pro athlete, he's really, really strong, and because he's NFL, he probably doesn't use a lot of gear. I mean, we know NFL players all use. Anyone who understands how drug testing works knows that. They just don't use anywhere near what a bodybuilder does. They use what they can get away with. And there are rules that make it really easy for NFL players to circumvent the rules. I've discussed that in the past. The system is set up to allow them to get away with, a little bit of use without real risk of detection. It's built into the system because they need that in the NFL. But you don't take someone like that and then say, well, he does a split, and then use that to justify your bro split. Meaning, if you see him doing squats and hang cleans and even standing tricep exercises that are almost a push press, decline bench, all that stuff, you don't look at that and then say, oh, well, he does a body part split, so I can achieve his results if I do this bodybuilder body part split, where you come in and start with a hammer strength machine, chest press, and then a dumbbell press, and then some cable flies, and call it a chest day, right? Because it looks to me like his chest and back day looks like a whole lot of decline benching. All right? It's like a whole lot of decline benching. His shoulder day, you don't use what he's doing and then justify and say, well, I'm going to come in and I'm going to do a seated dumbbell press, and then I'm going to do a front raise, a side raise, and then rear delts, and call that my shoulder day. Because this is a guy who's doing almost a dynamic effort stabilizer shoulder press. All right, that's nothing like what you're doing with some dumbbells. All right, totally different exercise. A lot more muscles involved. Doing hang cleans, probably counting that as his shoulder day. All right, he's not doing side delt work. He's doing hang cleans. All right, this routine, he's working most of the muscles in his body every time he's in the gym. All right, this doesn't mean he's coming in and doing one goofy compound that maybe is on a machine or with some dumbbells, and then doing 3 or 4 isolation movements for that body part. This is not like what a bodybuilder bro split is like. He's coming in doing big, heavy barbell athletic movements, and anything that doesn't look like a big, heavy barbell athletic movement, like a clean or a squat or a decline bench, it looks like it has a dynamic component, where he's sitting down doing those shoulder presses, with the bands and kettlebells hanging off of it. All right, that is a very dynamic component. That exercise, even seated, is working his entire upper body. All right, that's not the same thing. This is a very athletic-based split. And again, this is more of what we would call a movement pattern split, not a body part split. And it doesn't matter what he's labeling it. That label would tell people, hey, because he's calling it this, that I should go do what people normally think of as this. No, you better look at what he's doing. You better look at what this guy's doing. And I'll ask a lot of you guys, what's the last time you run in a bro split could do 315 hang cleans? When's the last time your bro split got you squatting 500 pounds for reps? All right, because that's what this guy's doing. But then you're like, well, I don't do hang cleans. I don't do these exercises he's doing. That's right, because you don't see him doing a bunch of cable fluff and pump. He's in here lifting heavy ass weight with a barbell like a real athlete does, because he is a real athlete. Just what a coincidence, right? Real athlete trains like a real athlete. All right, that doesn't mean that his arm day is doing 7 sets of 7 different types of cable curls. and tricep press downs. He's coming in doing big, heavy barbell movements and calling that an arm exercise. All right. Totally different beast. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.